Hello and welcome to our first NFL Super Bowl playoff projections. As I said in the weekly recap for Week 9, we were going to start our playoff projection videos on a weekly basis where we will give you the seedings of each conference as it stands for that particular week. Obviously, there's a lot of games left to play for the rest of the season, and we'll reevaluate it on a weekly basis. But it'll be fun to kind of take a look at where things stand if the playoffs were held like today or this weekend, where the teams would stand. And that's the point of this particular video. Like we're in a state of flux from week to week, especially in the AFC. A lot of teams that are tied in terms of the record, and but we evaluate them anyway and project their seedings. So that's what we'll do, and without further ado, let's proceed. Okay, we have the conference standings of week 1 through 9 for both the NFC and the AFC as we begin our playoff projections for week 9. This is the first playoff projection for the year 2021. We will repeat this every Thursday and Friday, or Friday, after another week's worth of play. So week 10 will be next Thursday or Friday. But for week 9, here's where things stand. And then, again, this is just, we've got plenty of games to play. There's going to be a state of flux here. So all we're saying is, as of right now, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, here are the seeds and where things stand. So let's start with the NFC. Let's pick our 4 division seeds fairly easy out in the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals at 8-1 would be the number 1 seed and the number 1 seed overall. The Green Bay Packers of the NFC North would be the 2nd seed at 7-2. And now you have a tie of sorts between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. But as we remember from week 1, the Cowboys on the road lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head-to-head. So the Bucs would get the 3rd seed and the Cowboys would get the number 4 seed. So now we look for the 5th, 6th, and 7th seeds for the NFC. Looking at the record standings, we see no doubt the Rams would be the number 5 seed because they have a 7-2 record. Now that leaves us looking for the number 6 seed. No problem there because that would belong to the Saints at New Orleans Saints at 5-3. Now we have the 7th seed, which there are a lot of teams that or actually 2 teams consider here. The Falcons and the Panthers at 4-4, believe it or not, would qualify for one of them for the 7th seed, and believe it or not, the Atlanta Falcons, as of week 9, would get the nod at 4-4 for the 7th seed. So therefore, the seeds would look like the following in our beautiful playoff graph. We have the number 1 seed Arizona Cardinals getting a bye in week 1. We have number 2 seed Green Bay Packers taking on the number 7 seed Atlanta Falcons. And then we have the number 3 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the number 6 seed New Orleans Saints. And now we have the number 4 seed Dallas Cowboys taking on the number 5 seed Los Angeles Rams. And as I said back in October, I'll repeat it over and over again. That, my friends, would be the Monday Night Football game, without a doubt, if things were to hold and Dallas does not get that number 1 seed, they are going to be on Monday Night Football. And as it stands, as of week 9, we have number 4 and number 5 going to Dallas and Los Angeles respectively. Now we move on to the AFC. A little bit more complicated, as you can see on the left here. The best ranked team, which would be the number 1 seed overall, would be the Tennessee Titans at 7-2. Now, the next best record would be the Baltimore Ravens, who would get the number 2 seed at 6-2. Now we see a tie between the Buffalo Bills and the Chargers, both at 5-3, and the nod would go to the Bills over the Chargers, and the Bills would be at number 3, Chargers at number 4. The number 5 seed, we have 2 5-3 teams, the Steelers and the Raiders. The Raiders won earlier head-to-head, so they would get the nod for the number 5 seed and number 6 seed respectively. With number 6 going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then finally we have a logjam of teams at 5-4. We have actually 5 teams at 5-4. The Patriots, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Broncos and the Chiefs. So, since it's only week 9 and I didn't feel like going through the convoluted 3 or more teams and elimination and blah, 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 I just went by the power rankings, and we'll give the nod to the New England Patriots as the highest power ranked team of the 5-4 teams. So we'll give them the 7th seed to the New England Patriots. And that leaves us with a grid that looks like number 1 seed getting a bye, Tennessee Titans. Baltimore Ravens taking on the number 7 seed, New England Patriots. The number 3 seed, Los Angeles Chargers, taking on the number 6 seed, Pittsburgh Steelers. And the number 4 seed, Buffalo Bills, will play the number 5 seed, Las Vegas Raiders. So that's our first look at playoff projections for week 9, and this will change as we move on, but for now, that's where we stand. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and that does it for our week 9 playoff projections, and we'll continue next week with an update as we go into week 10. Thanks for tuning in.
Ooh, push that button.